You are joining a live conference already in progress. If you would like to ask the speaker a question, please press 0.
If you do have any questions that you'd like to register with us now, and we'll bring them up live later on the call, do press 0 on your phone now. We're also eager to collect email addresses from those of you we don't have emails for already. So if you haven't been getting emails from ATU, go ahead and push 7 on your phone now. We'll get your email address so that we can make sure we keep you updated as quickly and as consistently as possible. I'm going to go through this introduction a couple more times. We are still dialing out, but we'll have our full complement of 1555 members on in just a moment here. Welcome once again to this telephone town hall meeting we're having. You're on with local 1555 President Antoinette Bryant. She's here to answer your questions and give you a negotiating update. If you do have a question for Antoinette, go ahead and push 0 on your phone now. We'll bring you up later to ask that question live. And if we don't already have your email address, if you're not already receiving emails from ATU, go ahead and push 7 on your phone now. And we need to get your email address so that we make sure that we can get you updates as quickly and as consistently as possible. So one more time, for those of you who have just joined us, we're going to give you a negotiating update this evening, and we appreciate you being on with us. Local 1555 President Antoinette Bryant will be on to answer your questions. So if you do have a question now or after you hear the bargaining update, push 0 on your phone. We'll get you in line to ask your question live during this telephone town hall meeting. And if we don't already have your email address, this is very important. We want to make sure that we have everybody's email addresses so that we can keep you updated quickly and consistently. Push 7 on your phone. If you're not already getting ATU updates via email, we'll make sure we get your email update and get you on the list. All right, so we are about at the close of our dial-out, so I'll go ahead and turn it over to 1555 President Antoinette Bryant. Antoinette, go ahead and take it away, please.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I wanted to give you guys an update on what's going on. As you know, our contract is set to in 6 hours, and I wanted to take a break from the table to be able to give you guys an update on what's happening, to answer any questions and concerns that you may have, to make sure that you all know where your poll locations are, your picket locations, and all of that. So with that, I'm not certain that our international president, Larry Hanley, is on the line, but I'd like to just say welcome to everybody. It doesn't sound like he is, but I'm sure he may be joining.
Yeah, he's not on yet, Antoinette, okay. But if I see him jump on, I'll let you know.
Okay, if there are any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer them. I want to give you an update right now. As I told you, we're 6 hours away from a deadline. We have not moved any closer to where we were. The district is remaining steadfast in their positions. I know that people have been concerned about a variety of issues. Let me answer a couple of them until we start taking your questions. There were questions that were left at the office on the voicemail regarding this continuation of a strike, because you need to understand this is not a new strike. This is a continuation of the strike that started July 1st. If questions are asked, this is an unfair labor practices strike, a ULP strike, and we are continuing with that. Unfortunately, our international constitution and bylaws say that in order to receive funds from the international while we're striking, you must be on strike for 2 consecutive weeks. So the 4 days that we were out the first week in July do not count towards those 2 weeks. So that's kind of a brief update. We're still under the mediator gag order, so I can't go into a lot of specifics on what's on the table, what's off, but I will answer any questions that you guys may have.
All right, great. Antoinette, we can go ahead and go straight to questions if you'd like.
Yes, that's fine.
Great. We're going to take Kanisha first, but I wanted to remind folks, if we don't already have your email address, please do push 7. We've got a little bit of a line there right now, but we'll get your email address as quickly as possible to make sure we can keep you updated in a timely manner. Let's go ahead and get Kanisha live. Kanisha, you're live. Go ahead with your question, please.
Hi, this is Kanisha Williams, station agent. My question, I actually have 2. The first question is, if the negotiations go out day to day, will that null the contract from being backdated to June 30th for any changes that have made, which was part of our agreement with the extension of the 30 days? And also, how will we be notified if we're going on strike? Will there be text messages? will there be a call to the station? I'm actually close to the station, so I'm just trying to figure out how we'll be notified for that.
Okay, Kanisha, thanks so much for being on the call, and thank you for your questions. To answer your first question, well, actually, it's your last question, how will you be notified? We have, through the International, the same robocall system that let you know about this phone call. We'll send out text and a robocall to let you know what the status is as of midnight tonight. Of course, if those of you that are working, please remember that we want to get our passengers to the end of the line, to their final destination, make sure everything is put up before we walk off the job, if that is the case. With regard to your second question, as far as going back day to day, at this time we have not discussed going day to day once this contract expires. It is fully the board's intention to be on strike at the end of revenue if the contract has not been settled.
All right, great.
I think that answered both your questions. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Kanisha. And we do have some operators available now. We just got through that first push for email addresses, so if you haven't already given us your email address, you can go ahead and push 7 now. And we are going to run a quick poll here, and the poll is pretty simple. We wanted to know, do you know your strike location for picket duty? Press 1 on your phone for yes, 2 on your phone for no. Again, do you know your picket location for strike duty? Press 1 for yes and 2 for no. And thank you very much, everybody, for that. We're going to go to John's question next. Again, push 0 on your phone if you do have a question you'd like to ask. John, you're live on the line. Go ahead, please.
Hello?
Yeah. John, you're live. Go ahead with your question, please.
I just wanted to know what the ramifications legally were for us if we continue to work. So if the district wants us to go on strike, that's clear. They hired this Tom Hunt guy, made a $400,000. They obviously want us at this point to be on strike. Why don't we not go on strike? What are the ramifications of us not going on strike?
Okay, the situation is this. If we go out on strike, then of course we're not going to work. If there is an agreement that we will continue to work, then we would work day to day, and the contract would still be in effect. But we have not made that agreement. I hope I'm answering your question. There are no legal ramifications if both parties agree to that. But it would have to be something that would be mutually agreed upon. That we do understand that the district wants us to go out on strike, but we are prepared to fight this fight and continue on for the next 5 hours and 52 minutes because we're trying to get a contract for our members.
John, did that answer your question?
It did. I just am curious why we're using that tool, that ultimate tool, because if we didn't go on strike, they would pretty much hand it back to management, and they'd have to accept that we work day to day, so they no contract. If they didn't, they'd really have the ball in their court.
Well, the other component to that, John, is the fact that we would not be making this decision ourselves. Remember that we are in a tripartite contract with SEIU for the first 10 sections. If they choose or AFSCME chooses to go out on strike, we would honor their picket lines, so we would not cross and we would not work. So if a strike is called by any of the three of us, the others would, in fact, honor that picket line.
Okay, that answers.
Does that make it a little better? You're breaking up really bad, so I'm hoping that I answered your question.
Thank you very much, John. We do appreciate that. Excellent. And I think we had Larry Hanley join us just a moment ago. Larry, is that you?
Yes, good evening, everybody. How are you?
Good evening, Larry.
Excellent. Larry, welcome to the call, and everybody, that's ATU International President Larry Hanley, who's joined us, so you can direct your questions to him as well. Our next question is going to come from Beverly. Beverly, go ahead, please.
Hi, Antoinette and Larry. First of all, I want to thank you for a job that should be well done, Antoinette. My question is about this gag order. As an 18 member for over almost 30 years, this negotiation has been handled quite differently. And the gag order has really hurt us, the fact that SAG is not abiding by it. And I want to know, what is the mediator saying are constantly not abiding by their rules, and we are. And when will this gag order be lifted?
Well, Beverly, the mediation process ends tonight at midnight, so the gag order will be lifted at that time. We made an agreement with the mediators. Unfortunately, as you know, the district violated almost from the onset, and so right now what we're looking at is a negative on wages. And so the gag order will be lifted at midnight. The mediators are scheduled to leave at midnight, and we would go back to traditional bargaining. So was there another part of your question?
Yes, The other
question, yeah.
It was a statement. When the gag order is lifted, the next town meeting, is it possible, or we will it include the executive board? You've been doing a great job, and that I just want to know what the executive board opinions and some of that, because they're elected officials too, and I hope they are backing you up and want to know their opinions of how the negotiation is going.
Well, I will let you know that they would have been on this call. However, Lieutenant Governor Gavin Newsom is in the room with them right now, so I'm taking the call. And they may be listening on mute, but they're not in a position where they can answer any questions.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Beverly. And while we do have Larry on the line, Larry, did you have any comments for our audience while we're between questions here?
Well, just that, we are getting some good news around the country where, we had a strike that went on for a few days in Arizona that just settled today. And, we're hopeful that we can reach a settlement here without a strike. But I have not been brought up to date in the last couple of hours on the negotiation, so that hazard a guess on what the latest is. I'm sure Internet has filled everybody in. Yep,
I did not fill them in on 1433, but I do understand that they have an agreement. I wasn't able to get all the particulars from Bob, being the president, who was one of the presidents that came out here to speak about Tom Hawk and the issues he had with him down there in Arizona.
Got it. All right, let's go to our next question. This one's going to be from Jean. Jean, go ahead, please.
Hi, this is Jean, local 1555. My question was, why aren't we telling the public about the medical money that Bart withheld from my paychecks and didn't put into the trust fund, and isn't that a failure of fiduciary responsibility? And secondly, why are we held to the gag order and the district isn't?
Well, from my understanding, Jean, thank you for joining us and thank you for your question. From our understanding, the mediator has spoken and addressed their concerns about the district violating the gag order, but I just refuse to get into a violation. If I give my word on behalf of this local, I feel that our integrity and credibility is paramount. And so I'm not going to violate the gag order on behalf of our members, because it's not just me speaking. When I speak, I represent the entire local. And as the president of the local, I did give my word. The board gave their word that we would honor the gag order, so that's what we did. Unfortunately, the district did not do that, but I felt it was more important for us to uphold the integrity and credibility of the local. With regard to the unfair labor practice lawsuit, that's still got another couple of months to go. It usually takes 3 to 4 months to even get in the court system and process. With regard to the medical funding, we have tried to make every statement that we could to the public through the media, but the media, as you know, has not been they've been a little more friendly than they have been in the past. This is my 7th contract, but they're not putting things in that look beneficial to the unions. I had one reporter go so far as to tell me that his assignment was to go out and find people that were against the unions, and it took him hours because everybody that he spoke with was speaking in favor of us. So a lot of information that I have said that has been released is not being put in the newspaper. It's not being reported on the radio or on television. So we have tried to get out as much information as we can. It's just it's their discretion. And Bart has deeper pockets than we do as far as ads and things. At best, we're doing the billboard on the Bay Bridge, and we're putting out flyers as we can. So we've tried to hit every avenue that we can without overloading the public on issues.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Jean. Thank you for that answering that. And I want to mention we just got through all of the email collection from earlier in the call. If you just joined us and we don't have your email address, we want to keep absolutely everybody as updated as possible, as quickly as possible throughout the remainder of these negotiations. So if we don't have your email address, please push 7 on your phone now. We'll get you with an operator and we'll get your email address so that we can keep you updated. And our next question actually came in via email, but it's a good one, so I'm going to go ahead and pose it here over the air. And Dave asks, can we picket ATU barns, longshoremen, and ferries? Antoinette, can you field that one?
Can you pick it? I'm sorry, Ian, say it one more time.
The question was, can we picket ATU barns, longshoremen, and ferries?
ATU barns, I'm not sure if they're talking about AC Transit, because that's the only barn I would think of that they were talking about, that Dave would be talking about picketing. We picket our property, so the barn, no, we could not picket there because they're not on strike. There's no work action against AC Transit, so we cannot picket there.
Got it. Excellent.
Yeah, barns, yes. Barns, no.
Excellent. And thank you, everybody who did just push 7. We're going to move some more email collectors over because we did get a little bit overwhelmed by it, but just stick on the line. We'll get somebody with you just a few moments here to take your question. And let's go back to another live question. This one will be from Sylvia. Sylvia, you're live on the line. Go ahead with your question, please.
Hi, this is train operator Sylvia Young. And Antoinette, I would like to thank you for taking the time to come out and keep us apprised of what's going on. Mike, I have 2 questions, as usual, more than one. My first question is, can Governor Brown still impose a cooling off period? And my second question is in regards to the international paying us out of the strike fund. I understand we have to be out for a consecutive 2 weeks. And I am a strike captain, and what I need to know is if somebody say they can't come tomorrow or Tuesday or something, and so instead of picketing for 10 days or 14 days or however long, they miss a couple of days, does that disqualify them from being eligible to collect any money? And if there's someone who doesn't, what about the people who don't picket at all? Are they entitled to receive anything? And I'm done.
Sylvia,
okay.
First of all, good evening. I'm really glad that you asked that question. Let me answer the first question that you asked with regard to the governor and the cooling off period. The governor can do that. He has chosen not to. And from what I understand, he is still not interested in imposing a cooling off period. With regard to the striking and the payment consecutive, our international constitution and general laws states that it must be 2 weeks consecutive. Larry is on the line and perhaps can give a little bit more information than I can, but I believe that you do have to picket for 2 weeks consecutively in order to receive payment.
Yeah, this is Larry. In order for the local members to be eligible for the strike benefit, the strike has to go on for 2 consecutive weeks. In terms of individuals qualifying for the benefit, they are responsible to show up and do picket duty or whatever duty the local assigns them to do. And those records are kept by the local, but the local has to certify that each member who's collecting actually showed up and performed. So for those people who choose not to participate, but simply stay home, there is no strike benefit.
Excellent. Did that get you all you needed to know there, Sylvia?
Yes, thank you.
Excellent. Thank you so much. All right, great. We're going to move right to our next question, and we do have still a few people waiting in line to ask their questions, but if you did have one, you can go ahead and push 0 now, and we'll get you in the line to ask questions. We're going to get Alana up live next. Alana, go ahead, please.
Hi, Antoinette. I just wanted to say thank you very much for everything that you're doing. I really appreciate you. My question is, as far as, the mediator and whatever other legislators that have become involved in the process I'm just wondering, are they helping at all? It just seems like they're very hands-off. The movement that you guys have seen, has it been due to their presence, or, are they just kind of there to say they're there?
Oh, first of all, Ms. Block, thank you for joining us. I appreciate it. I don't know if you got on the line. Someone asked earlier, I think it was Bev Ingram asked whether or not the executive board could get on the next town hall call, and I did let her know that Lieutenant Governor Gavin Newsom is in the next room talking to them while I'm conducting this call. So he is here out of a concern to see what's going on and get the process moving in the right direction. We've had involvement from several legislators, ranging from the Lieutenant Governor, State Controller John Chung, Assemblyman Bill Quirk, who, in conjunction with Senator Ellen Corbett, has asked for an audit through the JLAC process, which would begin August 12th. So there are other assemblymen, legislators, state senators that have been involved in this process that are extremely concerned about what's going on, that have made repeated calls and visits to both the general manager and the board of directors to try and get this process moving. So we do see a little bit of movement. I think as we go, we've got about 5 hours and 40 minutes. We're in the crunch time. We'll see where the push comes maybe in the next 3 hours.
Excellent. Thanks very much, Erlana, for that question. Let's get right along to Sabrina's question next. Sabrina, you're live. Go ahead, please.
Hi. My question is, hi, Antoinette.
Hey, Miss Sabrina.
How are you?
I'm good.
My question is, on a scale, because I know you can't speak on specifics at the moment, so say 1 is striking a deal and 10 is, no deal at all. Where would we fall in that range?
Well, I need you. I missed a part of your question. Where would we fall in what range? Say it again, please.
Between 1 and 10. 1 is we're striking a deal, like we have a deal, and 10 being no deal at all. Where do we fall within that range?
I love that you put it like that. I would say that we're close to a 9. That we are not making it.
All right.
Did I hear you right? Your range right? That 1
was
a deal.
That was our range.
And
yeah,
okay.
It was.
Then that's about where we are. 9.
All right. Perfect. Thank you very much, Sabrina.
Thanks, Sabrina.
Let's get Dave up next. Dave, go ahead, please.
Okay, thank you. Hi, Antoinette. This is Dave. I'm a train operator. And I want to thank you and the executive board, first of all, for all your hard work. It is greatly appreciated. And then my question was regarding a final and best offer. Does BART have to make, or will they make a final or have to make a final and best offer soon? Can they do that before we go on strike? Or is that something they can do at any time, even if we're on strike?
Dave, thanks for the question, and thank you for joining the call. According to the mediator agreement that we entered into back in July, the district cannot lock us out. We cannot strike. They cannot give us a last, best, and final offer. So during the life of this agreement, which expires at midnight tonight. So it's highly possible that at 0001, they will try to implement a last, best, and final offer. At that time, depending upon what it is, we would bring it back to the membership for a vote, which, as you know, through our local constitution and bylaws indicates that we have 5 days to make sure it gets out to the members so that they can review it. We then call a general membership meeting, and you guys, we discuss it, and there's a vote, and then we present the results of that vote. But yes, they do have the option of doing a last best final offer. It's just they cannot do it with this mediation agreement in place.
Got it. Thanks, Anthony.
Does that prevent us? Okay, sorry. Does that prevent us from striking if they present that at 0001, or could we be out on strike and go through the vote process and whatnot for the contract?
It can be either way. I mean, we can take the last best final offer and recommend that the members work through the vote, or we're on strike, based on the outcome of the vote.
Great. Thank you very much.
Yep, thanks, Internet. Thank you, Dave.
Oh, and the SEIU goes out with us. We can't cross their picket lines. Because remember, again, this is not just ATU. This, whatever happens tonight at midnight, affects SEIU, ATU, and AFSCME.
Perfect. Excellent. We're going to go to Jess's question next, but we did get our email collection queue cleared out, so I'll make one more mention here, and then I won't bother people about it again. If we don't have your email address, go ahead and push 7 on your phone. We'll make sure we get your email address so that we can keep you updated. We're going to get Jess up live next. Jess, go ahead.
Hello.
Please.
Hi, Internet. Thanks again. This is Jess, station agent. I have a question on the cooling off period. I know we're not for, and it takes 2. My question is, would it be beneficial for us to ask for a cooling off period, since management on their side would definitely say no? So that way to the public it looks, hey, we don't want this strike and we're asking for a cooling off period, knowing that they're probably going to say no anyway to that.
Is that your only question?
No, and the other question was on the wage. Since we're asking for a 3-year and they're doing 4-year, if for some reason we do come down and compromise, to a lower, instead of the 4.5, and we get down to 3, would we make sure we extend that out over a 4-year period, and so that way that we're not going down to just a 3-year for a lower increase also on top of that?
Well, with regard to your first question, we already asked for a cooling off period. We asked for it before the first strike, and the governor never responded to us. So that's still in effect. I mean, we were asking, we made it known then, and I've been saying it in the news media. It's been stated that we asked for the cooling off period, and we were trying to avoid a strike. With regard to the question on wages, where the district is locked into a 4-year contract, we are locked into a 3-year based on our bylaws and Constitution and general laws. So, of course, if they want a 4-year, they're going to need to pony up for it. Thanks, Jeff.
Oh, and then just one more quick personal audit. We signed a petition at the rally for an audit. Do you think that, what's the, I think you might have talked about it briefly with somebody right before me.
Again, Assemblyman Bill Quirk and State Senator Ellen Corbett have united in asking for an audit of Bart's books. They want the books to open so that they can see what's going on. Unfortunately, the earliest that could happen would be August the 12th.
Got it. All right. Thank you very much, Jess. Thank you very much, Antoinette. Let's go right to Stephen's question next. Stephen, you're live. Go ahead.
Hi, Antoinette. Steve Arhantes. How you doing?
Hey, Steve. How you doing?
Hey, I'm ready to roll.
Director Arhantes, what's going on?
My question is, I've looked over Thomas Hawk's contract, and it's my understanding, I believe he violated his contract with Veolia profiting from the strike. What are we going to do? Are we going to sue? We're going to bring both Bart and him up on charges, or what can we do?
At this point, Steve, I don't have one of our attorneys on the line, but I will tell you that we did file the complaint. We forwarded the complaint to the Board of Directors. They have yet to respond to us on it. It was not just a perfunctory thing. We are going to be following through on it, but neither of the attorneys are in the room at this time. They're in with Lieutenant Governor Gavin Newsom. So I can't answer any more than that.
Well, it's Larry Hanley here, too. We also torched him in the press, which I think had some impact.
Try to get him in the pocketbook like he's trying to do to us. My other part is Board of Director Mallett writing articles in the press. I believe that's against the Board of Directors rules. Is that not?
I'm not familiar enough with the Board of Directors rules, but clearly he was called on the carpet for violating the mediator's gag orders, because he clearly did the very next day. And I know that that was brought to his attention, as well as his second article that came out against us. I don't know what form of censure they have in violating their own rules.
Perfect. Excellent. Thank you very much, Stephen, for bringing that to the fore. And I think we're going to go to Carl's question next. Carl, you're live on the line. Go ahead, please.
Hey, Antoinette, how you doing? It's Carl Oliver.
Hey, Carl.
Hey, how you doing? Antoinette, I got two questions. One of them is the first one. Where do we stand with ATU 192? Because I know they're with their contract negotiations. Are they going to honor our picket line this time, or are they going to back us up? And you can answer that one.
Okay, with regard to 192, they are in the process of bargaining, and their situation is a lot different than ours. I'm sure that if it comes to it, they will honor our picket line with regard to any buses that move on our property. But the language in their contract is a little different with regard to bus movement. I have spoken with their president, Yvonne Williams, and she has already put out asking them not to work overtime. However, their extra board is required to do whatever extra work it is. So they don't have the option like we do. They don't have the limitations on extra board work like we do. If they're given an assignment, they must do it. But they will honor any picket lines that are set up at any of the stations where they normally drive into. And in fact, they did it the last time. I understand that they did not come on any property where we had established picket lines. They were picking up people on the outside of the perimeter of the property because they have to. But they did not come on the property.
And Carl, did you have a second question as well?
Yes. Yeah, my second question is, Antoinette, I work in the tower, so I'll be here till 1 o'clock until the end of revenue. And last strike we went on, one of our floor workers was relieved by Keith Hyman, who is not a
the last strike,
worker.
What, Carl?
One of the floor workers was relieved by Keith Hyman. Now, technically, when we leave the tower, and you're not relieved by a certified floor worker, we're supposed to power off, shut the computer down, and lock up the tower. Now, in this instance, if we go on strike at midnight when the last train roll up, do I leave everything up and operational, or do I shut it down?
Carl, I would say that and of course you're not going to leave the tower at midnight because trains will still be rolling. But when that
after the last train roll in, do I leave the tower operational, or do I shut it down like the tower manual says?
I think you answered your own question. Like your tower manual says, you would shut it down because there's no certified floor worker to relieve you.
Okay, that's what I need to know.
Okay.
Keep up the good work.
Thank you, sweetie.
You too, Carl. Thank you. Let's go to Carmen's question next.
Hello, Madam President. Oh, thank you. Hello, Madam President. I want to thank you and Nicole McCamish, Leo Ruiz, and Chris Finn, and all the negotiating team to stay strong and to say hello to all my union brothers and sisters out there. My first question is, I want to know if Lieutenant Governor Newsom, has he had a meeting with you, with the union? And my second question is, I heard a rumor that the Oakland longshoremen may go out and strike in sympathy one day. Is this a rumor? Have you heard it? Thank you.
Lieutenant Governor Newsom is next door right now with the rest of the executive board and our legal team. I met with him a couple of weeks ago in a legislative briefing and convening to apprise them of the situation, and I believe that was 2 weeks ago. With regard to Local 10, the longshoremen, Mike Villagianti is the president of Local 10. He has issued a proclamation issuing support for us. They participated in the rally that took place Thursday, and they indicated they will support us in our strike action. To what degree and to what measure, I do not know, but they have indicated to us whatever we need to let them know, and they will be there.
Okay, that's great. And I just want to say thank you very much, and stay strong.
Thank you, Carmen.
Good luck, really, okay?
Thanks, sweetie.
Thanks, Carmen. All right, let's go to Michael next. Michael, you're live. Go ahead, please.
Hi, Antoinette. This is Michael Alvarez, train operator. And my question is in regard... Hi, how you doing?
Good, sweetie.
Okay, so my question is in regards to, in the event the district gives us the best final offer, you said that there's a possibility that we may be going back to work while we deal with the voting process. But my question is, if that were to happen, what protections would we have since the contract is up?
Well, here's the thing. I don't know if you heard my answer earlier. Because we are in concert with SEIU and AFSCME, if they give us a last best final offer and either one of those locals decide they're taking their members out, we will not cross their picket line. So we would not be working. And that's highly likely as to what's going to happen. One of the three of us, if not all of us, will agree. We have not had this conversation officially, but I would say that, that the likelihood of any one person saying, oh, we'll strike and you won't, is going to happen. We are united in our thought processes and the way that things are going right now. I just met with the the AFSCME president. He was over here a few minutes ago to apprise us of their status of what's going on, and we are in the same building with the SEIU team.
Okay, great. Thank you for the clarification.
You're welcome, sweetie.
Excellent. Thanks a lot, Michael. Let's go right along to Jerry next. Jerry, you're live.
Oh, hi. This is Jerry Martin, train operator. Antoinette, I just want to thank you for answering all the questions. I just want to thank you for this forum. I thank everyone on the board for working hard and for everything that they're doing. It's no secret that I'm very outspoken and opinionated, and I may have some disagreements with some things that are going on, but I am just so happy that you are doing this, and I just want to thank you. I haven't called in for many questions because I haven't had a lot, but I've been on every call, and I just want to thank you guys for everything you're doing, and thank you for the opportunity of allowing us to ask you questions and get answers. Thank you so much for everything that you guys are doing.
Well, Jerry, I appreciate your comments. And, for me, it sharpens you when you have people that are sharpening you by giving you differing opinions and making you think out of the box and challenging, because this union is everybody. And so I appreciate your comments. I want to let you know that the thanks really does not go to me. This town hall situation was set up back in 2011, my first Ledge conference as your president through International President Larry Hanley. He gave us an opportunity to sit in on Local 689's town hall call during that Ledge conference, and I think they had about 800 members on their call, and because they have about 11,000 members, but it was an experience that was really unique, and I thought, wow, this is really cool. And given that we're spread out over such a wide range, over 100 miles, I thought especially at this time it would be beneficial. Larry offered it, and I jumped on it. So I think it's great that members are getting on. We've been averaging about 2/3 or higher percentage of people getting on the call, even though folks are at work. And I do know those numbers are false because a lot of people are lined up at the yard listening to one, on one phone. So the numbers are a little inaccurate, but I thank you for the comments. I think it's great because my piece has always been about communication, and this is certainly one of the ways that it's been working along with the text messages. So thanks for being able to, get in on the line because I know it's been hard to get questions asked and answered. So thanks for chiming in. Appreciate it.
Sure. Thanks to everybody.
I'll make sure they hear it.
All right, let's go right to Angela next. Angela, you're live on the line.
Hello, can you hear me?
Hi, Angela.
Hi, Antoinette. Thank you for allowing this forum to happen. My question is, during the last strike, while we were out on the picket line, we saw trains moving. So can the district actually, during the time that we're on strike, if we go on strike this time, actually open stations and run trains for the public?
Excellent question. Excellent question. They have been doing it. We sent a letter to Michael Peavy of the CPUC letting him know the safety hazards that were going to be violated if they, in fact, continue to let non-certified folks operate trains and handle electrification. We got a response back saying, oh, no, we have not done that, although there were several pictures taken during the strike of trains moving. The CPUC has been notified. Beyond that, there's not much that we can do other than keep a sharp ear. I know that people are listening in and watching to make sure what's going on. I've let the public know that this is unsafe. It is our understanding that BART does plan to run some form of limited service on Tuesday if we are on strike. So, it's their property. But we have got to let the public know the safety hazards and the safety that violations that could occur if they are allowed to get away with this. So we're hoping that the CPUC will prevent them from doing it. But it is my understanding they plan to run service on Tuesday.
Thank you for your answer.
And thank you for joining the call.
Thanks a lot, Angela. Let's move right on to Viola next. Hey, Viola, go ahead with your question.
Hi, thank you. Hi, Antoinette, and
Hey, Viola.
To the whole board, thank you very much for all you're doing. So let me just take on to what you just said about train movement. And so if we are out there in the yard and we're picketing the yard, how is BART management getting onto the property to access the train? And then say they do start movement, start picking up passengers on Tuesday, what special instructions will we, the picketers, be getting on, what our action should be that day? Do we pick up picket? Are we going to start spreading ourselves out to picket all the stations? What are we planning for this action?
Okay, you're breaking up, so I couldn't. There was a lot of static, and I heard you say, "What are we planning for?" But I'm not sure what the rest of your question was. I'm sorry.
Okay, you got the part that I was about. If on Tuesday BART management does start limited service, first of all, how is BART management getting access to the yards and the trains if we are supposedly at the yards ticketing? And then number two, what are we supposed to be doing on Tuesday when we picket? What special instructions do we have for picketing the stations? Are we planning for what our actions should be that day?
All stations are not going to have picketers. We have targeted specific locations. And one of the things that we were talking about earlier, not on this call, but we have talked about in conversation, is the fact that even if they run trains, they cannot run enough to sustain 400,000 people. So it's more important that we get our message out and get the community fully engaged and fully involved in what's going on and the proper notification on what's going on. So they have access to their property. I don't know how they're getting in, but certainly they have some way. We can't knock them down on the ground. We can just encourage them to not cross the picket line. If they cross, then they cross, and we can't stop them from doing that other than let them know that they're violating our picket line. But we can't physically force them off the property. Okay? So if they choose to do that, they cannot run enough service for us to prevent them, to carry all the passengers that we carry. So we just have to be alert and we have to be aware. There are certain stations that have been marked as picket locations. Check with your picket captain that you were dealing with on July the 1st, and they'll be able to give you your assignment to let you know if it's the same or if you've been rerouted somewhere else.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Antoinette, and thank you for that question, Viola. We're going to get Diamond up next. Diamond, go ahead with your question.
Hey, Antoinette, this is Diamond.
Hey, Diamond.
How you doing?
I'm fine.
Hey, my question is, not too bad. My question is that one was the contract as far as the last and final offer, but I heard that was already answered. The other question that I have was, I was noticing that, what you're saying about BART having deeper pockets, we need to find another way that we can get our information out to the public, because from what I've seen, BART has pretty much made it to where it's very difficult for our message to get across. How you're saying, but the fact that the news stations are looking for reasons for public support against us. What other things are we going to is there anything that we're implementing or things that any other tactics that we're going to use to get that message across? Because obviously, if we have that support and it's out there, it's going to make it a lot easier for us. Is there anything differently that we're going to do other than putting the flyers on the trains and talking to people as much as possible? Because as a train operator, I get a lot of congratulations, good luck, and all that. I've had really good support. But it's just not being out there for the media to see. Is there any way that anything that we got going on that can help further that cause?
Well, I know this may sound crazy, but I'm not as much interested in the media as I am the public. So let me answer your question with a question. Do you belong to a church or a community group or a social organization? If you do, and this answer is not just for Diamond, it's for everyone, you should be going to those groups that you're affiliated with, speaking about what's going on right now because the word of mouth spreads. I'll tell you, I was at church a couple of weeks ago and was accosted by somebody with regard to us being greedy. And, of course, a lot of people gathered, and by the time I got done, I had convinced about 300 people that we were doing the right thing, that weren't too happy. And when I was there today before I came down here, the word was, good luck, you guys. You know, we recognize that this is a fight for working families. You have to make it not our fight. I mean, this is a fight for working families in the Bay Area. This is a fight to maintain a living wage here and decent middle-class jobs. If Hawk and all these other people would have it their way, the middle class would be annihilated. And we're not going to stand for that. And that is our fight. And our message is to our family, to our friends, to their family and their friends, and so forth and so on. Because a lot of people are talking amongst themselves here at BART, but we need to get the word out to other folks through the community, through whatever organizations and groups that you have.
And this is Larry Hanley. I just want to add to that, Antoinette, if I can.
Oh, sure.
You know, this has to be done in an organized way. The essential thing, if there is a strike, is we need to get our members to volunteer their time to come down and participate in activities like getting leaflets out to the public, going to senior centers, reaching out in every way we can to groups of people who can put pressure on elected officials. There will be many assignments, but the most important thing is every one of our members has to come out and help us get the word out. We have to overcome the press, which is not on our side. But we have so many people. I mean, if we have 900 full-time people working during the strike, and that's what we should have, then we can really reach out and get a lot done all over the city of Oakland and all over San Francisco.
Great, excellent. Thank you very much, Larry. And thank you very much, Diamond. We're going to go to Elwin next.
Hi, Elwin. Hi, I'm Elwin. I'm a train operator. My question, well, first I'd like to say I think Antoinette is doing an amazing job. I was actually shocked at how well this union, pulled together, and they're doing just a wonderful job. I was very impressed by the rally, and I'd like to ask about RDOs. Do our RDOs just automatically go to Saturday, Sunday? We don't pick it on Saturday, Sundays, and then we pick it the other days? Or if you have a Monday or a Tuesday RDO, what do you do then? And I think that's about it.
Okay.
Can I answer that?
Sure, yeah. Okay.
The question is, how much do you want to win? If you want to win 3 days a week, you do 3 days a week. If you want to win 7 days a week, you get out there and do it 7 days a week. This is war. And right now in the Bay Area, the focus of the war on working people is there. And we need to get our members out full force 7 days a week to do whatever they can to get the word out and fight back.
Okay, that's not a problem. I agree with that.
Great. Thank you very much, Ellen. Thank you, Larry. Let's go to Shanika next. Go ahead. Shanika, you're there.
Sounds like you're working.
It does indeed. Yeah, we'll go ahead and move to one of our email questions that came in actually, and this email question asked, talk about the letter sent to 192 asking them to not work overtime. Can you talk about that at all?
Okay, I'm sorry. Repeat that again.
There was an email question we got and said, talk about the letter sent to 192 asking them not to work overtime.
Well, any time that there's an action that's about to take place at one property, the Labor Council send out notification to all affiliates, letting them know that this property is having an action or will be having an action, and asking them to support them. So with regard to 192 and any other ATU properties that are in the Bay Area, they are aware of our current situation because the Labor Councils have been keeping all affiliates aware, and we ask that their drivers do not extend into any overtime, that they just work their normal 8 or whatever their shift is, depending on if it's a bus route. Some people may have that 12-hour with a 2-hour, 3-hour, 4-hour split. So, yeah, the request is out, but again, people make their individual choices. We are hoping that they will stand strong with us. We expect that they will, because that's what the word that we've received.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Antoinette. We got another live questions. This one's from Nicholas. Nicholas, go ahead.
Yeah, I live in Sacramento, and I was wondering if we could picket the state capitol instead of, I was picketing R50. Instead of picketing R50, can we picket the state capitol?
Well, Nicholas, the state capitol is not on strike. I understand that, and that's another concern, because we do have a lot of members that live far out, but, we can't do that. I mean, the closest station to you is the closest location is R50, right?
Correct.
Nicholas?
And I mean,
yeah.
It's 150 miles, round trip for me to come to picket.
Right.
So it's kind of hard, it's going to hurt my pocketbook. So I was just wondering if that would be fine to picket the state capitol.
But, no, you can't picket the state capitol, but I tell you what you can do. You can do phone banking. You can do other things to get in touch with our members.
Okay.
Okay, so what I need you to do is, contact the hall or contact whoever your picket captain was. If you did the drive 3 weeks ago, contact them and get them to route you through and see what you can do from home. But we're going to need some evidence of the fact that you were working from home, because we do have a lot of members that impacts, and we recognize that.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Nicholas. We've got another email question that we wanted to cover because we thought it was a really important one, and it was, if we do go on strike, how will we be informed? Antoinette?
We will do everything we can to keep everybody informed. Last time we had a little bit of a snafu, but we plan on doing the robocall and doing the texting to let you know, because we do have people that are working in the Union Hall, but remember, we need more. We need as many people as possible to be down at the hall tonight to help out. We've got 900 members, and if we only have 6 or 7 people down there working, 4 or 5 people, they can't call everybody within a scope of time before you might hear it on the news. So again, come on down, help us out, get on, bring your cell phone, bring 2 cell phones, bring your family and friends, and we can get everybody notified as quickly as possible.
Great. Thank you very much. Let's get David up next. David, go ahead, please. David, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. This is David Brown, train operator out of Concord.
Hey, Dave.
Hey, how are you, Antoinette?
I'm good, sweetie. How are you?
I'm good. Hey, just really quick. Actually, I really, my question already got answered. It was in regards to the 72-hour, not 72-hour notice, if they gave us the best and final offer. So that's already been answered. But I want to make a quick statement. I hear a lot of people, talking about having difficulties, getting to picket. But they got to realize that we got to make these sacrifices. We have to get there and picket. We need to show out at the stations. So let's not come up with excuses. Let's make sure we just get out there and do what we need to do.
I agree. Thank you, sweetie.
Like I said, my question already got answered, so thanks for taking my call.
Okay. You're welcome, Dave.
Thanks a lot, David. All right, let's go to Kelly next.
Hi, Antoinette. This is Kelly Bewley. I received a call.
Hey, B.
Hey, I just got a call stating that ATU 192 just gave 48 hours to strike. Have you heard anything about that? Is it true, and how does that affect us? Is question number 1.
Thanks, KB, for the question. Thanks for joining in. There's a lot of rumors floating around about a lot of things. I think I have a pink suit on today with green shoes and a purple nose. So unfortunately, that's how the rumor mill's flying. I do not know if, in fact, that's true. I do know that 192 is at the bargaining table. I don't know if they gave 48-hour notice to strike. If they did, I think that the answer is pretty clear. If they were to do that, we would shut down the entire Bay Area with regard to transit.
Yeah, that would be the thing.
Yeah, but I don't know it to be true, sweetie. I do know there's a lot of stuff flying and floating, and we've been kind of concentrating on what's going on in the room here. So I did get a couple of calls myself on that, but I have not had a chance to call Yvonne to confirm it.
Okay, and the second question has to do with the strike benefits. If we're out for the 2 consecutive weeks and everybody does what they're supposed to do, what is that benefit?
I think it's $100 a week. It's Section 19.8 in the International Constitution and General Laws. Larry, are you there?
I'm here. The strike benefit after the 2-week waiting period is $150 a week.
No, it's $150. Okay.
Okay. All right. Well, those are my questions. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Kel.
Thanks, Kelly. All right, we're going to go right to John next. John, go ahead with your question.
Yeah, I was curious if we were going to, number one, have we gotten any answers back on whether we can ticket construction sites? I know Bay Point has one down on the side where they may be accessing it. Walnut Creek, we need to encircle, but other BART construction sites, can we ticket those?
Hey, JOC, thanks for the question. It's my understanding in the conversations we've had with the labor councils that they are working on all construction sites, that they are taking out, I don't mean out of our hands, but you know what I mean? They have gotten in touch with the buildings and trades, and they have been they are going to be handling that.
Okay, also, are we going to... Shouldn't we be ticketing Lakeside this time around so that UPS isn't bringing stuff in, blocking the Kaiser people from getting their stuff and so on?
My understanding is that's going to be one of the sites. Yes, sir.
Outstanding. And then I just wanted to give a little bit of props to County Connection, because through all this process, we've been trying to drag 192 up, and they haven't been coming. But when we were on strike last time, 1605, I believe it is, had temporary bus stops set up. It was supervised. We didn't have to trip on it at all. So we need to give them some props. Thank you.
Okay, John, thank you so much. As far as 192, they did what they could given their circumstances. So I don't want there to be a misunderstanding that they were not doing anything. I was in touch with their president as well as some of their members, and given what they're operating under right now, they did the best they could. I am receiving text messages on my phone that apparently they did give a 48-hour notice. I'll try to confirm that. I probably won't be able to get it confirmed before we get off the call, but I am receiving text messages that it has been announced. So I'm not near a radio or anything, so I don't know that for certain. But I am getting text messages that, after Kelly's question, that yes, it is true. I just have not been near a television or a radio to hear that reported out.
Excellent. Thank you very much for that question. John, let's go right to Sherry next. Sherry, are you there?
Okay, so which is it?
Sherry, can you hear me?
What do I press?
Hello?
Hello?
Sherry, you're live on the line. Go ahead. Yep.
Yes, my question is actually to President Hanley, and my question is regards to the comment that Arizona had a settlement to their contract. We're not looking just for a settlement, but we're looking for a win for labor. And can you confirm to me that was an actual win for labor? Because we don't want to just settle. And I want to put something out there to all my members. Don't just settle. We're looking for a win for our union.
Sure. Well, a win is a very subjective question. You know, what you may consider a win may not be what the next person considers a win. We had a big win in Arizona because after a few days of a strike, we were able to settle the contract on terms that were acceptable so far to the leadership of the union, and there's going to be a vote of the membership to determine whether or not they feel the same way. But, you know, when there is a strike and when people lose their income and when cities lose their transit service, settling it on terms acceptable to the leadership, we would consider a win. I know that's vague, but there was really no way that we could all agree on what a win would be. We do that by vote.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Larry. Thank you, Sherry, for bringing that up. And we're going to go to Jim next, try and get to as many questions as we can in our last few minutes here. Jim, go ahead, please.
Hi, Antoinette. I want to thank you and the board for all the hard work you're doing.
Hey,
and the question I had was already answered, but I have a different question, and that is, how long does the board of directors have to respond to the complaint filed about Thomas Hawk and the conflict of interest?
I do not know. I'm sorry, I do not have the answer to that question. Again, that's a legal question, and I think they're still in with Lieutenant Governor Newsom, but I'm writing that down to see if they can find out.
Okay.
Okay.
And
oh, I'm sorry. I accidentally sent Jim back. I didn't know he had another question.
Sorry, Jim.
Sorry, Jim. We're going to go to Kurt next. Kurt, you're live. Go ahead, please.
Oh, hello, Antoinette. This is Kurt Robinson, train operator from Richmond. I was just kind of curious. You know, the newspaper stated that the first day of the strike last month caused $73 million for that one day of economic damage, which is pretty tremendous considering the state of the economy. Can we get an ex parte motion before a judge to get our action moved to a docket and get this suit settled? Because without the courts making a judgment that they are indeed negotiating fairly, what chance do we have of getting a fair contract from them?
Again, that's a question for our attorneys. I've written it down, and I'll make sure that they can get us some kind of answer.
Thank you so much. You keep up
okay,
the work. We're really proud of
Thank
you, and I'm glad that you're leading us in this because the union needs direction, and you are the perfect head.
Thanks, Kurt.
All right, great. Let's go to Sarah live next. Sarah, go ahead.
Hello? Hi.
Yeah, you're...
my question is, I've been told, I'm on disability right now, and I've been told by some people I need to be on the picket line, and some people have told me that I'm not allowed to be on the picket line because I'm on disability. Which one is it?
Hey, Sarah. Is this Sarah Gwaltney?
Yes, it is.
Hey, how are you? Thanks for getting on the call. I'm good, sweetie. I don't know of any legality that would prevent you from being on the picket line unless you're doing something that is going to further injure you. And again, I'm speaking from a novice point of view as far as that's concerned. That's another question that I'm going to write down for our attorneys. I don't think there's a problem. Larry, can you answer?
Yeah, maybe I can be helpful. You know, like the member who's distant from Oakland geographically, there are many things that you can do to help the effort without straining any physical problems you may have. So I would suggest that you get in touch with your strike captain, and it may not be picket line duty that you do. There may be something else that you can do that will be helpful.
Perfect.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks,
All right,
Sarah.
Thank you, Sarah. All right, and we've gone actually a little past our hour-long teletown hall, so if you do feel like you have a question that didn't get answered, we went over time. We tried to get to as many as we could, but when we finish our closing comments in here, feel free to leave your name and some contact information and the question that you have that you'd like to get answered. And also, if we didn't have a chance to collect your email address during this call, feel free to leave that in a voice message as well. We'll pull that out and add it to the list. Let's go to Larry and Antoinette for some closing comments. Who'd like to start first?
Well, I can do that. I just want to thank everybody for joining us again. I want you to know that throughout the U.S. and Canada, obviously, we are paying very close attention to the situation in the whole Bay Area, including what's happening with our members in 1555. I want you to know that should this escalate, we will be there with you to help and to enhance your efforts. But the primary thing we need is for the members of 1555 to step up and volunteer time. We need to break through a wall of silence put up there by the press and by Bart. We need to get beyond it, and that's about us reaching out directly to the public. So please contact your local union and volunteer.
And I'd like to say the same. I think you all know that we've been here really waiting to see what's going on, and we've had little to no movement. But we are most appreciative of our members. You guys are keeping us going. Your energy, your enthusiasm is keeping us energized and uplifted. So thanks to everybody. We will be here burning the midnight oil. So if you want to come down and hang out with us, we're at 111 Grand Avenue in Oakland. 111 Grand Avenue. We will do everything we can to let you know as soon as we know what's going on. So please be patient with us. If you want to know sooner, if you can get down to the hall and help out with calls, whatever calls we have to make at midnight, it would be great if we had 100 people down there. Then everybody would only have to call 9 folks. So as many people as can get down there to the Union Hall or down here at 111 Grand Avenue just to let us know you're out there supporting us, we appreciate it. Thanks again, 1555. You know our slogan, ATU proud, ATU strong.
Thank you very much, everybody, and good night.
Thanks, Ian.
Please leave your message after the tone. When done, hang up or press the pound key.